We're going to start. We need to have proof that we actually had people here. So I'm going to pass around a sign-in sheet. It stops at 25, but just keep adding numbers and adding in, please. Which one was that? So, welcome to the annual meeting of the Friends of the Southeast Steuben County Library. I'm Bev Stevens. I'm serving as president of the board, and I welcome you all here. I want to introduce you to some of our board members who are also here. Let me see if I get this right. Starting with Keith McPherson. Keith, want to raise your hand? Lee Mertzen. Julie Frommer, who is our liaison to the trustees. Pauline was considered part of our board. You all know Pauline, I hope. Sandy Van Warmer. Bruce Peffley. Annie McCaslin. Hazel Russell. Karen Swan. Ann Foster. Bernie Baldini. Thank you, Bernie. So we welcome you all. We have some who unfortunately have actual jobs still and work during the day, so they are not with us. So we will get started. I'm going to declare that the minutes are accepted as read. You all didn't get them, but our board members did, and they've had a chance to reply to any concerns with that. And we will move on to the treasurer's report. Our treasurer cannot be here because she is one of those people who's still working outside the home. But she wanted to let you know we started the year 2022 with a balance of $19,938.13. And I will explain that that's an awful lot to have at the start of the year. We don't normally do that, but we changed our method of funding to meet the library's needs so that we carried over money. And now we, instead of giving one donation a year to the library, we give two after each sale. And that allows them more time to adequately, what's the word I want? You have more time to decide how to use the funds. It's not a rush at the last minute. We had revenues of $55,882.41. We had expenses of $71,063.31. That took care of that extra that we carried over, you see. And our ending balance for 2022 was $4,757.23. So I think we're in good shape. We certainly learned from COVID that we have to keep a little bit more in the kitty than we used to, just in case. Okay, Marshall, what do I hit?
These little arrow keys here should move things.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, that's not the one I want, though.
Can you go the other direction?
There we go. Okay. Okay, so this is our first order of business as the annual meeting, and that is approving the budget. We have up on here, I'm sorry, see, I'm getting in the way, Marshall. Let me see, can I, no, it doesn't matter too much. It's fine. You have the 22 actual, the 22 budget, the variances, and the 23 budget, and you'll see that we pretty much are very conservative. We've raised, we're hoping to take in $50,000 in book sales this year. That is about typical, and we will go with that. And then expenses. This paying for the book sales, giving to the library support. You'll notice that we gave quite a bit this past year. And again, it was because of some carryover. And the final is also paying for books sandwiched in. We pay for the hall here and refreshments, books for babies. The typical nitty gritty of running things, postage, library association dues, etc. We have a new one here, and that is the sales tax that we now deal with. We started this year's charging sales tax, and I'll get into that a little bit more. And then the final, so the budget would be that we propose that we anticipate taking in $55,620 in the year 2023, and that we will have expenses of $55,620. That was fast. I didn't want to bore you. Are there any questions on that? Any comments? We've had our fine financial minds go over this and they think we're okay. If so, I would like a motion, please, to accept the budget. Thank you, Mary Bacallis. Second, Tom Hart. Okay. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, the budget is passed. Thank you very much. Okay. Having done that, we are going to turn over the microphone for a little bit to Pauline Emery, who I believe last week that we were asked if she would tell us a little bit about the renovations that are coming along in the library. Pauline?
So I see Louise had some slides. Yep. Sorry. All right, so the Mary Lou Walker project. So this project was inspired by the Friends when they did a celebration of life for Mary Lou Walker in the children's department. Many of you were in attendance actually, and there was a beautiful sign that was a memorial sign for a picture for Mary Lou Walker that was in the children's department. Well, the family was there and they really felt it was important to remember Mary Lou in a memorial type way. And that got the conversations going about redesigning our children's room. We've wanted that for so long, and what an amazing person Mary Lou Walker was and everything she had done with the library and the children's staff. It seemed like a perfect memorial. So much has been done since those seeds of that idea. The entire project cost is $686,000. To date, we have raised close to $300,000 through grants and fundraising. The remaining amount of funding will be capital and also additional fundraising. In this picture, you see these are the starting, these pillars, they're going to be trees. We kicked off this project in September. It's going full bore every day today. You can hear saws and drilling, and the library is a very active place right now. The children's department, we have a temporary location on the second floor that will remain there until we're able to move into the new location. Mark your calendars. We are hoping, and we will confirm this date, but we're looking at March 10th from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock as being a grand opening. And you'll see more information that as that becomes available. Let's look at so this is going to be our circulation checkout area. One thing we've lacked so much is storage. We desperately need storage. So now when I walked in this morning and looked around, we have plenty of storage. I'm just praying we don't fill it. This will be a theater space, theater storytelling, programming space. A special surprise will be put in that location as well. We have an art space, science space. As you can see, most of the flooring is done. The next couple of weeks, they'll be doing flooring outside of the entrance area. As far as things that you can anticipate in the next couple months. There'll be this really dark black covering in front of the children's space because we want to protect against dust, but we also still want a little mystery. So make it a little bit exciting. And also, unfortunately, because we have to move things from upstairs and move items from other spaces, from March 23rd, I'm sorry, I keep looking at March, from February 23rd till March 10th, there'll be, so it's almost 2 weeks, a 2-week time period. We won't have children's materials available just because those items will be put in our brand new space with new furniture, and our furniture is supposed to arrive this month on the 18th, be assembled and put together. So this is really exciting. And I want to thank the Friends. This year, they were able to give the library $60,000. $60,000. 5,000 of that went to the Mary Lou Walker project, and the rest was able to be utilized in our operational budget. And we so thank the Friends for all you do. Wonderful work you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline. And we thank the library as the Friends because they have put up with all of our schemes and and such, and been very patient. And now we will hear from Barb McLean, who is president of the trustees of the library.
Thank you. Whoops, throwing things around already. First of all, I want to thank the Book Sandwich In Committee for selecting the book, Lady Justice, and for inviting Michaela to present. That was really, really interesting. I found the book to be really inspirational, as I'm sure many of you did, for anybody who tried to read it or took a look at it. Obviously full of driven, brilliant, and ingenious women fighting to save democracy in this country. The book obviously chronicles a dark time in our recent history that we are still feeling the repercussions of and still working our way out of. The book also made me think of our own unsung heroes, our librarians, staff, and volunteers, who have always been and continue to be committed to equal justice for all, for standing up for human rights and truth every day in maybe less noticeable, but no less important ways. From providing children with opportunities to fall in love with stories, real and imagined, and to learn to love reading and broadening their worlds, to aiding English second language learners who have relocated to this country and the opportunity to practice their new language and to discover things about their new culture while being able to and encouraged to share theirs. From providing someone who has been out of the workforce with opportunities to learn and hone new job skills and get retrained in a new field through the library subscription to LinkedIn Learning, which is a platform that offers hundreds of online courses in-demand soft skills, a myriad of today's much needed technical skills, and courses in job finding skills with expert teachers, and some courses leading to certifications and continued professional education credits. To giving people a better sense of self and belonging by connecting them with their own roots through local history and genealogical research. From offering people facts through credible and reliable sources to better understand the truth amongst the barrage of news and opinions all of us are subjected to on a daily basis, to lending folks laptops and hotspots for personal use, allowing them to connect with and have access to the online world that they may not otherwise have had. From hosting innovative programming for teens that lets them explore their creative sides and who they are and who they're becoming, to keeping people in our community safe by distributing free COVID test kits and masks. From allowing people the right to choose what they read without judgment or restriction, to providing a safe space to some of the most vulnerable and sometimes invisible members of our community that allows them to be seen and acknowledged by familiar and friendly faces. From helping non-tech savvy folks learn to use their smartphones and iPads to Zoom and FaceTime and Google and all those sorts of things, to partnering with the food bank to distribute locally grown produce to kids and their families, and so much more. And just like the women highlighted in Lady Justice, it is the same resolve and courage to continue to uphold these principles of democracy to our community by providing resources, information, programs, services, and community spaces at little to no cost, regardless of who you are or how you identify yourself, with empathy, compassion, and respect. That's what makes me truly proud of and inspired by our librarians and staff and all of us who support them, especially those of you in this room, the Friends of the Library, who have given your unwavering support in time and effort over the years, and to have successfully raised so much money to help the library. That is quite a feat. Your efforts from the book sales have directly contributed in helping to make the programs and materials we offer so diverse to meet the needs of our patrons, and also allowing the library to offer fine-free services for all patrons, children and adults alike. In addition, since 2011, many of you have been involved on our scholarship committee and helped to select worthy candidates to pursue or continue their education, who might not have been able to otherwise without that little extra money to bridge the funding gap through the scholarship fund named in honor of Nancy Dowd and the Friends of the Library. All of these efforts make a difference in maintaining the democratization of what the library has to offer by providing these opportunities that help to overcome barriers. And for that, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the trustees of the library board.
Thank you, Barb. And again, I would say the Friends of the Library greatly appreciate the support of the trustees and all you've done for us. Okay, which brings us up to our next most important order of business, and that is election of new board members. And so I'm going to call up the chair of our nominating committee, Keith McPherson, who will introduce our three candidates to you.
And Bev, if I understand, these are 2 3-year terms.
Yes.
Okay, 2 3-year terms. Our first nominee is Pamela Smith. Pamela lives north of here on Hornby Road. She is currently employed as the Town of Hornby Town Clerk and the Village of Painted Post Deputy Village Clerk. On the side, she enjoys interest in computer tasks, including Microsoft Word and Excel, loves to read mainly romance, light mysteries, and history. She's a member of the Hornby Historical Society Board. And as far as involvement with our local library, she has helped us with book sales at our twice-a-year sales that we hold, and has worked at the membership table at each of those sales. Our third, or I should say our second nominee is Kim Canale. And Kim hails from the Delavan Heights area of Corning. And she had spent 13 years with Corning Incorporated, working in the recruiting department, also involved with Michaels, the retail group. She was with Michaels for 13 years. And her interests are in actually involvement in the local theater group. She is with the, she's president of the Center Stage Community Theater, and also is involved with Crafting with Kimberly. And that's held at the at our local library. As far as involvement, she's been a longstanding volunteer with the Corning Library, and we look forward to having her come on board. I do want to point out, I had an interesting conversation with Kim. I mentioned with Bruce Peffley leaving the board, I am the only male member on the board, which concerns me. And Kim indicated that I guess I could consider the rest of my my board members as my harem. Is that correct, Kim? And she referred to me as a sultan. So Kim and I are going to be very good friends. Yeah. And Kim's very shy, as you can tell. So now it's with much intrepidation that I'm going to introduce the third member. I don't know if you've ever had regrets about bringing up a name, but Betsy Carasetti is our third nominee, and Betsy and I were classmates, and at West High School. I won't go into the year, but I understand you're putting together a tell-all book about me. Okay, well, at any rate, Betsy is retired, but when she was employed, which was infrequent, wasn't it? She was an elementary school teacher at Campbell from 1973 to 2012. And she is, since she's retired, she has been involved with with CMOG, Care First, with the Wine Glass Marathon, and then she's come to the Friends of the Library and been involved with another individual by the name of Mary Bacallis, who's been a sorter. So Betsy has been involved with Mary, and that's how I've come to know her a little better. But we were at school together, and were we king and queen? Do you remember? That's at any rate. In closing, Betsy lives in Irwin. She resides on Beartown Road, and I want to welcome all three of these ladies on board. Is there anything further you'd like me to say or do? Okay.
Good. I will ask Joe, Kimberly, you want to stand up or wave your hand or something? Pam? Betsy? Okay. So this is the slate that Keith and the board is recommending. Are there any other nominees? If not, do I have a motion to accept this slate? Nancy? And a second, Jill? Okay. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Of course not. Welcome to the board. We look forward to working with you. Okay. And now it'll be a little bit of a State of the Union address to just let you know what all's been going on besides this wonderful renovation. We have several committees. You've heard from our nominating committee. Books for Babies is chaired by Bernie Baldini and Judy Garrett, and they throughout the year donate 30 board books a month to the Corning Hospital. Those are given to parents of newborn babies to take home, along with some brochures extolling the virtues of reading in libraries. So we thank you for doing that. We have the Red Bookshelves. This is chaired by Suzanne Gerlich Downey, who can't be here, along with her wonderful elves, Karen and Linda Swan. And COVID kind of put a kibosh on a lot of the Red Bookshelves, but what we found is that those who are remaining are becoming more and more self-sufficient. And really, that's a wonderful goal, that we've simply got it out there and gotten people to continue. But we do continue to do that, and we have quite a few books right now, and we just contacted the Dorman Library in Bath, and they have a need for some children's books, so we will be sharing some of our access books for them, which I think is wonderful, library to library. And so you friends are now not only the friends of the Southeast Steuben County Library, but the friends of the Dorman Library as well. And then I'm going to try to find my slides. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So of course we start with Book Sandwiched In. Book Sandwiched In last year. You see them wonderful there. Again, great choices, great speakers. I would tell you that there is already a sequel to the Thursday Murder Club. And I sure do wish there was some kind of retirement home like that here in the United States that was affordable. Had a fantastic beginning to this year's Book Sandwich Inn. Thank you so much, Louise, and your committee. You do wonderful work. And by the way, speaking of thanking Louise, she's responsible for these slides because I am technologically incompetent. So thank you so much. Okay, and then we go to the spring book sale. Now, we named this girl Coco. She was being repurposed out of the library as they were preparing for renovations. And so we brought her into the book sale, and we discovered that there was a book about Coco, the gorilla who learned sign language. And so we gave her that book. And there she is kind of scratching her head because spring was when we, the friends, started charging sales tax. And we had a register, cash register, and we all had to figure out how to use it. And we are so very thankful to Lori Reenan and the library staff for saving our butts so many times. But the other very positive thing was that we chose to enlist the help of local students. And so we had Julie Farmer's daughter, Evelyn, helping us. And we had kids from the alternative school up at the college. And they came in and ran the registers because they knew what to do. We didn't, but they knew. And I have to tell you what a marvelous experience that was. I'm going to pick on Tom Hart. Tom and a student named Fiona, who was just delightful. Such a wonderful thing to see people with 50 years difference between them sitting there. And I was trying to be nice. But they had the most delightful conversations. And I thought it was just a win-win situation all around. And then, so Coco, once she got over that, became, I don't know how well you can see, she ended up sitting on the floor and snuggling with these kids. And it was just the most delightful thing. She unfortunately did go to a home. I just kind of think maybe we should have kept her, but she is now residing elsewhere in Corning. The other nice thing about the spring book sale was because it was in the community room, when it was done, we followed the lead of the Ithaca book sales and we opened up the room for 3 days at the close of the sale and told people they could come in and take whatever books they wanted at no cost. Not only did we find homes for a lot of books, but people were so generous. We had a donation jar there, and I think on the first day we took in more money in donations for free books than we'd taken in on the last day of the sale or something. So it really worked out well. And then Pauline was very generous to allow us some space, and we put a shelf outside the side doors to the library, and we filled that with the books that were left over. And then over the rest of the summer and the fall, as we sorted through books in the garage and had things like Reader's Digest condensed books that we normally put out, we put all that out, and it was very popular. You never walked by that you didn't see somebody there looking through those shelves. And so we feel really good that we repurposed a lot of books and found a lot of homes for books in a very positive way. Oops, we don't want to go there yet. I don't want to go there yet. Where are you? I'm looking for the, oh, maybe it's not there. I guess it isn't. Never mind. All right. We had one other, so we just got on a roll and we thought, okay, we have lots and lots of children's books. We have ever so many cookbooks, and we have quite a few gardening books. And so the farmer's market was very generous and allowed us space this summer. And so we set up and we gave away books, and it was a very positive community experience. The neat thing was that Miss Sue had a bingo contest going on. The children had to fill in their little spaces for where they were reading books. And one of them was read books in a park. So the kids would come and they would take books from our shelves and they would go sit on the lawn and read the books. And sometimes when they were done, then they just come and put the books back on the shelf again. We also used it to get memberships and to advertise the children's programming that was going on over the summer. Having done that, we were then invited to be part of the Fall Fest on Market Street. That was a 3-day event, but we chose only to do one day, Saturday. And we used this to promote the fall book sale that was coming up. And also, I don't know if you can see them in there, our book bundles. And we're going to talk some more about the book bundles later. Again, it was just letting people know we were there. I believe that was the first time too we had a donation of these beautiful, beautiful junk journals. And we did not know how to take care of them properly. And at Kimberly's suggestion, we ended up raffling one off, and that proved to be a very positive thing. Well, my goodness, where am I going here? And then we went back to the fire hall. And I just love it. It's always kids that appeal to me. And the kids always find a place. And in this case, there actually was some open space under the tables, and they just curled in there like it was a little fort and had a grand old time just reading. It worked out very nicely. Okay. We had even more vendors than usual in the fall book sale, thanks to Ann Foster, who contacted every vendor she could think of within the area. And we ended up, I think, going outside of our regular area. So we had people driving down from Rochester. We had a lady who was coming down from Massachusetts to the Ithaca sale, so she thought she'd stop in at our sale. So it's kind of nice to know that we've kind of got a nice reputation out there. And the last one was the holiday shop. We did this last year and it worked fairly well. And going back to the Fall Fest, while we were there and we were promoting our book bundles, which consisted at the time, we do an Advent book bundle for children, 24 books wrapped up where they unwrap one each day. And we were doing birthday bundles. You fill out a form, and our bundle guru, who is Ann Drake, we could not do this without her, will go into our storage and find 12 books that are appropriate for that child's interests and age and gender. The person stopped by our booth and said, well, these are all for kids. What about our adults? Don't we deserve books? Can't we have 12 days of Christmas? Can't we have 8 days of Hanukkah? So we got busy collecting books, and we had Wrap Fest. We have some wonderful wrappers here in our friends. And we came up with, and do you have a general number of how many bundles we made? At least 50, and I think we had 2 left. Wow. I sold. And because of this, we are now going to expand. So all year long, should you be interested, we will have children's birthday bundles, but we will now expand it for adult birthday bundles. And we are considering maybe doing some Valentine's bundles and some Easter bundles. We're just having so much fun with it. So all in all, it's been a very good year, a very busy year, and I cannot tell you, I think we have to have the best friends group and volunteers in the area. I can't say enough good about the people that all work together. So we have 2 more. Now let me see. Yes. So we go on to publicity. We mentioned that Ann did this good job contacting vendors. We put this one up last year and we said, take a look at this and see if you have any other suggestions for us for ways that we can advertise the book sale, because even so, even though we send out postcards and we have flyers and all of this, we have people who come in and say, well, I had no idea the book sale was going on. Anne did a fantastic job. She got us a spot on Channel 36 in the morning with an interview. And that was very good. But I think I'm going to challenge you all or give you an assignment, because I'm a former teacher. When you get your postcard in the mail talking about the spring book sale, which by the way, will be at the Union Hall in the spring rather than the library, gives Pauline back her library, and it's bigger. We think it's even bigger than the fire hall. So we'll have lots of room. Yeah. So when you get that, make a point of telling 5 of your friends that the book sale is coming. I think word of mouth is probably one of the best ways to let people know. And the fall book sale, a woman came in and she said, we just moved here. And I was talking to somebody in the neighborhood and they said, well, you've got to go to the book sale. I thought, all right, we're happy to have you. So that's publicity. And the last one, whoops, no, is membership. So membership, we have an opportunity to renew here. If you're a member, you should have been receiving 3 postcards a year, the spring book sale, the fall book sale, and then one in December announcing books sandwiched in. We also instituted this past year, if we had your email, we send out other notices. And so, for example, I certainly plan when it's finalized for Mary Lou's opening, that we will send you out an invitation via email saying, here it is, because we really don't have newspapers and such to do that. So if you haven't given us your email and you're comfortable doing that, I strongly suggest taking time and doing that, because then we won't bug you for money. We won't bug you for anything like that. It's just information that we'd like to send out to you. Okay, which now you've seen it many, many times. Our last slide. So this past year, the Rotary was looking for programs and they thought it would be interesting to hear about the Friends of the Library, and in particular, the book sale. And when you think of the book sale, the first person you think of is Nancy Dowd. So they asked Nancy if she would come and talk to them. And some of you who are volunteers will know that Nancy has been literally up to her ears in books, going through and giving us her expertise on whether this one is valuable or where it needs to go, etc. So we called in our historian, Lee Mertzen, and said, would you work with Nancy and put together a little blurb on what's been going on with books sandwiched in, and with the book sale. So I'm going to ask Lee to come up and just give a little abbreviated version of that entire speech, which Nancy hasn't given yet, because the day she was supposed to go to Rotary was the day we had that awful snow day. Lee? Yeah, sure.
Nancy, this is very brief. The Friends' primary mission is to assist in obtaining adequate financial support for the library, according to its constitution adopted in 1958. In that year, the first initiative was a 2-day book fair held on Market Street. $697 was received. Over the next 20 plus years, sales were held every 2 years or so, and small amounts of money were raised. Then in 1985, when Nancy Dowd became co-chair of book sales, she set a goal to reach $5,000 for each sale. That goal was reached 2 years later, 1987, and as she says, we never looked back. And they never did. Since 1958, and during the 38 years that Nancy has been our leader, the Friends have raised almost $1,300,000.
We got it. There it is. And so, actually, Ann, you want to bring? Ann Drake, would you mind bringing that? So, you may have noticed that on, the refreshments thing, it says we've raised a lot of money and that ain't peanuts. That is very, very true. We wanted to, just show you a little extra love and support. So, Kelly from the Children's Library made this owl and people have added feathers to it. Thanking you for all you've done. If you don't know that I'm a love for owls. Perch on the street sign. And the neighbor family, we started exchanging owls. My house is we got one more. Second, what you said about it's anything, all I do is ask people to do something. Well, you've been a fantastic role model for all of us, and we do it because you've known how to get us to do it. So we thank you. And with that, unless there's any further business, I will call the meeting adjourned. Thank you all very much for attending.